Probably you need to press down the button. This is probably the battery.
Okay.
The front one. Just press once, yeah. Just once.
You switched it off.
No, you switch it off. Just once. Press it once, then you hear the click. Yeah. Anyway, we'll start here, I think. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammadin Nabiyyil Ummi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. We went through, I think, last time the ayah on Surah ayah 219, Surah al-Baqarah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يسألونك عن الخمر والميسر قل فيهما إثم كبير ومنافع للناس وإثمهما أكبر من نفعهما ويسألونك عن ماذا ينفقون قل العفو كذلك يبين الله لكم الآيات لعلكم تتفكرون. We mentioned last time that the Sahaba were very keen not to ask unless it's really desperate and something really want to know, because they want to step ahead of what Allah Azza wa Jalla planned for them. And Allah planned when it's the right time, Allah will send the order. So they asked about khamr, alcohol and gambling. And this is the second ayah mentioned alcohol. At the first ayah about the grapes, they use it as sakaran wa rizqan hasana. They use the when they mature the grape to alcohol, they get drunk and they make money out of having grapes. They sell the grape and they sell it to people who eat it. They sell it to people who might convert it to alcohol. And here he said that there is a lot of harm in it. There is a lot of harm in alcohol and in gambling. and there's some benefit to people as well. They trade into it, they sell it, they buy it, they transfer it, they make bottles to contain it, to fill it with alcohol and things. And the same people who run gambling firms and things. But Allah Azza wa Jalla said the harm is far much than the benefit. I mean, there's a lot of research done and a lot of publication. The cost of alcohol on NHS and police and crime and domestic violence and absence from work and diseases and things far exceed the tax the government take. But they still refuse to ban it and they still allow it. They all think, amazingly, they think about their budget. When I went to the physio last Monday, I needed a new sling. They said, oh, we haven't got one. Ask the emergency treatment room. So I went there and they said, why didn't they give you from them? They should have their own. I said, they're trying to save on their budget. Because the treatment room have nothing to do with this. But they try to just, Then when I retired, I had a laptop, which was ancient laptop. Oh, we want it back. I said, even if I want to donate it, nobody will take it because it's so old. They said, no, we will swap it for a new one. They're very crafty. Swap it for a new one. So there's a lot of harm in alcohol, and then they ask about what shall we spend. ماذا ينفقون؟ قل العفو. Al-afu here is what's left beyond your need. In Islam, Allah look into all your needs and consume your wage on it, and then you could donate. Al-afu. While some of the Sahaba donated everything and left themselves with nothing. But their iman is far beyond our level. If we donate, the 2.5% will be mocking, oh, proud, I'm giving my zakah. People need more than your zakah. Alaykum salam. And Allah Azza wa Jal, He explained, He makes His signs clear to us, so we might consider. Obviously, most of the explanation to the meaning in the Quran is done by Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah didn't need to send Quran to explain the Quran. Although He did leave in the Quran explanation to other parts of the Quran deliberately, because He wants people not to argue. Like when I teach my student, I say that all the ayah on inheritance left in the Quran. Only the grandfather, grandmother were left out from mentioning them in the Quran. Because people usually go and fight for their inheritance. They disagree, so it's clear. And the clear also is about marriage and divorce, and hayd, and the menstruation period, and death. No, whose son is that? Your son on the table trying to reach the roof. He can reach the skies, but not. He came down. The one with the red top. And then Allah Azza wa Jal said, so you might contemplate in this life and the hereafter. You think what's in it for you in next life. And they ask you about the orphans. Say, Islahum lahum khair. They say it's best for them to do what's good for them. Why they were worried about orphans? Because if you read Surah in many parts of the Quran, especially Surah Al-Nisa, start by وَلَا تَأْكُلُوا أَمْوَالَهُمْ إِلَى أَمْوَالِكُمْ وآتوا اليتامى أموالهم ولا تتبدلوا الخبيث بالطيب. That never come near the money of the orphan, never replace the good for the bad and the bad for the good, and do not murder. And if you are rich, don't touch. If you are poor, take what's enough for you to look after the orphan. So the Sahaba became very afraid of touching even the money of the orphans, so they wanted how much you can do. So Prophet ﷺ said, if you do good things for their best interest, that's fine. You invest for them, you buy for them, you sell for them, you put a fence around their land and things. So, and if you, because they will eat together, they will buy things together, travel together. So when تخالطوهم فإخوانكم, they are your brothers. If you mix with them, they are your brothers. So you need to be really just with them. Yeah, you divide the cost between you and them. So the Sahaba became at ease from being, totally afraid of touching the money of the orphans. Otherwise, the money will die. I mean, if you don't look after the farm, if you don't look after the camels and things, they will die. And Allah knows who is the disruptive one and who is the mischief one and who is the good one. And who is the one who repair things and mend things and do good things for the orphans. And وَلَوْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ لَعَنَتَكُمْ. Allah, He might make it difficult for you, but Allah wants to make it easy for you. And Allah Azizun Hakim. He is Aziz, He is not in need for any. You need Allah Azza wa Jal, and He is most wise. He knows what He advises you. Now, we have in Islam no adoption as such. They are often under your care. So usually the money comes with them. It doesn't become your money. I don't know in this country, when you adopt somebody, his money become yours? Anybody knows?
If you do something called a deputy. You do something called a deputy.
The Court of Protection, I think, look after their money.
Protection is not something called power of attorney.
Power of attorney or Court of Protection?
For children.
For children, probably Court of Protection, because power of attorney need the consent of the adult.
Yes, so it's called a deputy. I've got one.
Yeah, Court of Protection, and every transaction they charge 5%. So I'm buying him a couple of trousers. They charge you 5%, and they send you the money. So his money get lost with them.
If you're a deputy, they don't, because you are responsible.
but they still charge court of protection transaction fee.
They have a fee, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not very big.
Yeah. So the fee is actually eating from the money of the adopted child. And then Allah Azza wa Jal said, and here He wants to establish the Muslim community on really pure pace, that do not get married to the pagan, those who associate partners with Allah, idolaters, until they become believers. And a believing woman, slave woman, is better than non-believing idolater, even if you like it, if he is more, attracted to her, and vice versa. Do not marry the males idolaters until they believe. And a slave believer better than a mushrik idolaters, even if you like him. Now, the dispute between the scholars in Islam is, are the Christian and Jew, are we allowed to marry Christian and Jew? Now, the ayah in Surah Al-Ma'idah allows that. And if you go to Surah Al-Ma'idah, I will take you there. No thanks. Yeah, see. So if you go to Surah Al-Ma'idah, back in the second page, and Allah Azza wa Jal said here, اليوم أحل لكم الطيبات وطعام الذين أوتوا الكتاب حل لكم وطعامكم حل لهم والمحصنات من المؤمنات والمحصنات من الذين أوتوا الكتاب من قبلكم إذا آتيتموهن أجورهن. That this day all good food have been made lawful and for you, and the food of the people of the scripture, the Christian and Jew, is lawful for you. This is why many Arab read this ayah and they come here to London, they go to Tesco and Sainsbury's, they buy. You might be surprised, but this is their source. They take it that their food is halal. They don't think about them being idolaters or pagans or atheists. They just go and buy. And then Allah Azza wa Jal said, and lawful in marriage are chaste women from among the believers and chaste women from among those who were given the scripture before you, when you have given them their due compensation, desiring chastity, not unlawful sexual intercourse or taking secret lovers. So the scholars, some say, oh, they became, no way they belong to Isa alayhi salatu salam. They no way practicing Christianity. There's no way they are considered believer. They are mushrik because they associate a partner with Allah. What's worse than making a human God? Isa, they made him God. And the answer will be from the other side. They will say, Allah knows that, and He said, لقد كفر الذين قالوا إن الله هو المسيح ابن مريم. Those who say Jesus is God, the kafirin. And لقد كفر الذين قالوا إن الله ثالث ثلاثة. Those who say Allah is one of three is also kafir. And in spite of that, He said, you can marry in Surah Al-Ma'idah. And later in Surah Al-Ma'idah, Allah will mention and will bring it to you. لقد كفر الذين قالوا. So they are kafirin, not even mushrik. Obviously mushrik and kafir the same. لقد كفر
think what they say is that the country is no longer Christian.
Yeah. لقد كفر الذين قالوا إن الله هو المسيح ابن مريم. The kafir, those who say Allah is Jesus. And لقد كفر الذين قالوا إن الله ثالث ثلاثة. And they're all in the same surah, Surah Al-Ma'idah. The first surah you can marry the women, the second part of the surah, not the second part, ayat 72, ayat 73. Be careful. We need you.
It's a punishment for coming late.
It's not made by us, unfortunately. So the scholars say, ask the lady, how she sees Jesus. Is he human or is he God? Or now, from my experience, and I've went through a lot of marriages between Muslim and Christian, it's not even in their mind that Jesus is God. Many of them say, oh, no, don't even think about it. They don't have Christianity as a core belief, as aqidah. Yeah, Christian, yeah, are you Christian? Yeah. But you ask them, I don't really know, what shall I believe? So it's quite a few of them, a number of them, they don't even think about it. So when you say, Jesus is man, isn't he? Oh, yeah, I can see your point.
A lot of people I've spoken to will say Jesus is a man. It's not God.
Yeah.
They'll say that.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So we tend to ask them, and if they say Jesus is man, human, then we say, okay, would you like to become a Muslim? Usually, most of them say yes. If they don't, and obviously if they are married already in a civil office, they come to us and we want to marry according to Islam. Then, I ask this key question to the ladies now.
The Surah Al-Ma'idah, the one you showed us before, it says, "Min qablikum." This means the Christian, the Christian that were before you. At that time, I think.
Which one you talking about? لقد كفر الذين قالوا إن الله.
The one before.
The first one that you showed.
Oh, the one in Surah Al-Ma'idah, and the beginning of Surah Al-Ma'idah, you mean? Yeah. أوتوا الكتاب من قبلكم. Yeah, which is the Bible, the Torah and the Injil.
Before, it's talking to us, isn't it?
Yeah.
Muslim. So before Islam came, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they were monolithic, because it does the Surah Allah, وَمَا تَفَرَّقَ الَّذِينَ
أوتوا الكتاب إلا من بعد ما جاءتهم البينة. Yeah.
When the Prophet came, this is where they split in becoming, some of them believer monolithic and some of them believe in theology. Before that, I think so. Maybe he was talking about that time.
They still believed in one God.
That time at that where they were Muslim there. So, they're not talking about our time. That's my interpretation.
I presume you are saying Qablakum is not for the book, Qablakum is for the people.
Yes.
So he said, أوتوا الكتاب من قبلكم. Who was given the book before us? Christian and Jew. أوتوا الكتاب. They were given the book before you. So the argument here, come back to أوتوا الكتاب. They have been given the book before you were given your book. So they were given the law from Allah before you were given your law. So the argument here, from my experience, narrowed down to the individual case. When somebody wants to marry a Christian or a Jew, you go back to talk to the Christian and Jew. I have a lady has asked her, have you had any boyfriends before? Because there's another ayah, الزاني لا ينكح إلا زانية أو مشركة. الزاني, adulterer man, he shouldn't marry but adulterer woman like him or a mushrika, idolaters like him. والزانية, the adulterer women, لا ينكحها, no one marry her in Surah Al-Nur, but a man who is a zani, adulterer like her, or idolater like her. وحرم ذلك على المؤمنين. It's haram for the believers. So one of the key questions I asked, how many boyfriends you had? So could she be classified as zania? So because this is also not allowed to marry. One of them said, loads. One of them said, I never had any boyfriend before. She was still like virgin. So they both married the Muslims. One we know, the one who said she never had anyone before, she's actually had 3 children or 4, and she came to live in Birmingham. We met her in Wales. Very nice lady. The other one actually went abroad with her husband. I don't know what's the results of that. But I do ask, and I know one who became Muslim and then she misbehaved, and then she asked me to be her guardian once she went to get married. Can you be like, my guardian? And I remembered when I spoke to her lover in her house, and he's told me all sort of rubbish and things, and I didn't feel that I could, knowing that she was committing adultery, I could go and be her guardian. So I did actually apologize and said, look, I'm really sorry, because I was far away anyway. I was in Wales and she was in London and things. Because Allah said, أُولَٰئِكَ يَدْعُونَ إِلَى النَّارِ. So you need to be careful, because if somebody married you, your children will be led to hellfire if she doesn't truly believe in Allah Azza wa Jal. And Allah Azza wa Jal wants them to go to Jannah, paradise, and full forgiveness from Him. And Allah Azza wa Jal tell His signs to people, so they will contemplate, they will understand, they will study. I think we need to go downstairs for the prayer. It's 8:30, isn't it? 8:30. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. We'll come back here.